Hey everybody, this is Sully taking choke points on the road. Another driving edition. About to do something that I haven't been able to do for 2.5 years. And that is to drive over the West Seattle Bridge from I-5 over into West Seattle. This is a driving edition. I am going hands-free. I am not holding my camera, so bear with me. But yeah, here we are. Beautiful Sunday afternoon. The West Seattle Bridge reopened to traffic overnight last night, ending what has been the exile for West Seattle for 2.5 years as the cracking concrete in this bridge shut it down on an emergency basis on March 23rd of 2020. So here we go, making the approach here over the Spokane Viaduct. You were able to drive on this part of the bridge over the last couple of years during the closure. You could only go as far as getting down to First Ave and the lower Spokane Street Bridge. But here we are, we're about to go up and over the top. The last time I was on the West Seattle Bridge, I was inside of it, which is actually pretty cool. So to get as far as we're about to go now, you would have had to drive through some nice barriers and blockades and things like that, security guards. So here we are about to do what hasn't been done, at least for me, for the last 2.5 years, to get back over to West Seattle, up over the high-rise bridge. So enjoy the views, everybody. Here we go. We're going into West Seattle. Over the bridge, I'm reminded when I was inside the box girders here, 60 miles of steel cable was used to tighten the bridge here. They used, so many, 240 gallons or so of epoxy to fill all the cracks, all the carbon fiber wrapping. Here we are up over the apex of the bridge, over the Duwamish waterway. The bridge looks pretty good. Feels nice and solid. I have no reservations driving over this baby today. I know they've worked really hard to get this thing back open, but most importantly, I think just to get the folks back in West Seattle the ability to get back over this bridge, which took about 100,000 vehicles a day before the closure, 20,000 or so transit trips a day rode over this bridge. Whether or not we're going to see those kinds of volumes going forward, I don't know. Work from home has kind of changed things a lot, but I know what is that the businesses and the residents over here who've been somewhat dying on the vine, it's great to have this lifeline back open to one of Seattle's biggest neighborhoods. So here we are as we pop up over onto the west side. Here they did some new paving work and some grooving work here on the pavement to make sure that it's nice and good and ready to go for the drivers. And yeah, boy, that welcome to West Seattle sign there on the right side of your screen never looked better. Welcome back, guys. All right, here we go. Now heading eastbound on the West Seattle Bridge. Got to spend a couple of minutes with some long-time West Seattle residents who said the last 2.5 years have been awful. I can't imagine just how difficult it might have been to be cut off from the world. I had a couple other people mimic what I had talked about earlier from Mayor Nichols about how that 10-minute trip to Costco had been 40, 45. Talked to a lot of people who said their trips that used to take 15 minutes now take 45 minutes to an hour. So they are all very happy to have this bridge back open, their lifeline to West Seattle back open. You can see the new pavement here they have worked on the west approaches here, but in both directions of the West Seattle Bridge. The pavement is smooth, it's nice. Glad to have this thing open. I know the vibe in West Seattle was pretty solid. They're all very happy. In fact, I talked to one guy who got on the bridge this morning and didn't realize, he's like, oh, I'd forgotten it had actually opened. I was like, am I supposed to be here? So I think they're not certainly giddy, but it is pretty exciting. You can see a lot of people coming on here from Del Ridge, the bus-only lanes. I hope you guys are all ready for what used to be a nice trip over the Duwamish River here. But just remember, this is not going to be a panacea. They didn't add any extra lanes to this bridge. as we go over the high point here in the eastbound direction. We still have the rise there. We still have the bus-only lanes there. We still have people are going to be late and weaving and merging. Probably a little learning curve to remember that you need to be like that Subaru over there on the far right, already over in the right-hand lane to get off at 99. The next lane over, bus only. And then here we are kind of tooling down into Soto over what had been the closed part of the bridge. And, you can remember that as you approach this spot, approaching I-5 in the morning, it backed up because there's only that one lane approaching I-5 that we're going to go through here in a minute. So just remember, it's not going to be free and clear all the way over across. You've forgotten. Backups on this bridge extended during some of the heavier times, especially when there's maybe an accident on I-5 or not, that it would back up to here. Obviously, we have some new signage here to remind everybody, right lane to go south on 5, left lane where I am to head over to the northbound I-5 into downtown Seattle. So new signage is up, a little bit of new pavement. Obviously, it's still a little chunky here as we work our way over the Spokane Viaduct, working our way over to I-5. But just remember that we are going to see the choke point that we have always seen once this bridge is open. Right up here as we join I-5. You're going to have people coming up from underneath, especially some truck traffic, and there's not a lot of time to get over into that one left lane that gets you over to northbound I-5. So just be careful. There's going to be some late merging here. We've got a double white again. A lot of people never paid attention to that. Car behind me just went across it. But here's that merge coming up from underneath. There isn't a lot of room to get over, and this is going to back up. So here I'm making my transition over into the lane. Getting into northbound I-5 right now is pretty heavy. It's kind of solid getting into downtown Seattle right now. But welcome back. This is your commute. It's back to normal. The bridge looks good. And 2.5 years later, I think everybody in West Seattle is very happy to have their lifeline back up and running. This is Sully taking choke points on the road. Another driving edition here. Our first look at the newly improved and repaired West Seattle Bridge, and a welcome back to your merge onto I-5 northbound past the old Rainier Brewery. Guys, take it easy. We'll talk to you later.